When setting your valve lash, make sure that the full cycle has been completed and that your compression release is not on, which is where the intake valve goes down, the exhaust valve goes down, and then the exhaust valve cracks open a tiny bit again. You want to do it right before that to where there's no like pressure on the valves. And you're gonna set your valve lash to 3/1000ths feeler gauge right there, 0.003 3/1000ths, and you're just gonna slide it in between the rocker and lash cap, and just, you don't want it too loose, but you want it to be able to slide in there with just a little bit of resistance. And then you'll do the same for the other valve. You're gonna need a size 10 wrench and an Allen key that fits the actual adjuster in the middle there. And we're just gonna put the wrench on, hold this adjuster still in the middle as tight as we can. Here, the Allen key is actually staying on its own, so we don't really need to hold it. Okay, come over here and do this side now. Alright, so we have that, both of those torqued down pretty tight. So after we torque these down, we're just gonna want to check our valve lash one last time just to make sure nothing's changed. That looks good. Make sure the 4 doesn't fit, 3/1000ths fits, so make sure 4/1000ths either barely just wants to go in, but it doesn't really go in. Alright, now we can put on this clear plastic valve cover. You do have to be careful when torquing these down because Nate's had them in the past, and he said that the edges right here where the bolts go in crack really easily. So you can't really torque them down very hard. It just comes with a standard little cork gasket. And then I drilled and tapped this fitting so that we could have 2 hoses running from the side cover to the valve cover to equalize the pressure inside the block. But we're gonna go ahead and bolt this down. Now you grab yourself an 8mm wrench, just until they get slightly snug. You don't want them super tight because, like I said, they can crack. Terrible, but it's definitely something, kind of a downfall to this valve cover, but it looks so good with the red in it. So this is what we're working with right now. And got the head mounted, all bolted up, everything's coming together. All right guys, we have a problem. So this is just more downtime. So our spark plug cap is too big and is placing right directly over this fitting, so it can't go anywhere around it. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and install our intake manifold. I'm gonna have to put a plug right here. It's port matched to this head specifically, so I don't know if you can see down in there or not. It's fully port matched. I found out that the dude that makes these does not sell a gasket for these intakes yet, or the head. So I went ahead and bought gasket material and went ahead and made my own. Just like some rubber, cardboard type rubber stuff. Order me this NGK spark plug boot. It's low profile, it doesn't have that big tip on the end of it. Perfectly flush. A little bit of room between the fitting and the spark plug boot. Alright, so I just installed this NGK spark plug cap onto our magneto, starter coil, whatever you want to call it. These are actually twist on, as well as the part up here, so you don't pull these off, you twist them off. I didn't know that at first. I started pulling on everything. But we got that installed. So that thing's looking nice. Also already went ahead and cut 2 coils or 2 little links out of this spring, which increases your stall, which means you have to rev your bike up higher before the clutch engages, so it'll hit harder and engage at a higher RPM. There's a bunch of little shoes in here, like weights basically, with a notch for the spring to go in, and they're all separate, so you have to put them all together and get the spring in one trot, like one piece, without the other parts moving and stuff. But it took me 3 hours, and then I just decided to duct tape the whole entire thing down. Got it in about 5 minutes after that. So duct tape's your best friend. All right, so now we're gonna reinstall our engine shroud and magneto. You're gonna want to space it out 40 thousandths, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna use a 8 thousandths and a 32 thousandths, which makes 40 thousandths. I'm just gonna put it right here. Went ahead and got my screws in there started. I'm gonna stick this through on this side and tighten this bolt down. Just rotate this to get it out. Now I'm gonna do the same for the bottom here. Now I'm gonna try and push this down to get it close to it. Now you can rotate this again to get the feeler gauges out. Now you have your magneto properly gapped. We can go ahead and put this engine shroud back on. So now we're gonna go ahead and put our tube on. This block is gonna be vented. I've already measured and cut out a piece of line. Measure it out for the other one. We measured out this piece right here. We're gonna go ahead and, I've already pretty much done it, but we're gonna finish putting this on. That's what it looks like from the front. And then clear valve cover so you can see that red on those rockers. But yeah, this thing is coming together good. Got our vent lines fully set up. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our little coupler off of our Nibby carb that is now old or not being used anymore. Probably find something else to put it on. And we're gonna put it on our Black Market Innovations port matched intake. So I put a little bit of oil just on the inside of this where it's gonna be sliding on, just to make it a bit easier. All right, so we got this coupler on right here. It was actually like kind of really a pain to get on, but we did it with the use of a tiny bit of oil. It's actually a 28mm flat slide Mikuni. You can see the difference right here on the slides inside of there. It's kind of like glaring, but reflecting, but you can tell the difference. The one on the right's flat and the one on this left side is round. This has more of a rounded power band, and this is more like a rampy, like instant type of power. And you can go ahead and slide this right on. Now we can put this bad boy on. There we go. Slide this hose clamp over it. There we go. This build is complete, guys. Only took 2 weeks. No, I'm just kidding, but most of that time spent was waiting on parts to come in. But there we go. We have this billet head build stage 5 Predator 212. This thing was gorgeous. Do a little 360 for y'all real quick with everything. This big boy Makuni right here. It's gonna have us making some crazy power. As well as this billet head, of course, from Black Market Innovations. 32 millimeter intake valve, 25 millimeter exhaust, 1.3 ratio rockers with our hot 265 cam. So we'll be making 344 lift, which is quite a bit of lift. This thing is actually put together now, but now it's time to get this thing running in the next video. Alright guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I did. Really enjoyed putting this engine together. I'm very excited tomorrow to start this thing up and see how she runs. In the next video, we'll be taking her out and test riding it, as well as most likely changing the jets in that Makuni back there to make it run efficiently. Leave us a comment down below for any video ideas y'all would like to see. Any ideas of any projects y'all would want to see, challenges, anything. Leave it down in the comment section below. But thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know when we post a video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.